Hey everyone, this is Wingspan TT, and I am so happy to be bringing you my first ever footage of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag multiplayer. Now, before I get into this, I would like to give a huge shout out to Loomer, to Rainin, to JTS, to Escoblades, to Gabe Graziani, to everyone on the Ubisoft team for allowing me into the Ubisoft Uplay Lounge, hooking me up with the ability to be playing this. Now, this is not live. Basically, RaininStormwake and I helped each other out, so he recorded me playing, I recorded him playing. And what you're going to see right away, other than the fact that most of the stuff is the same from Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer, is that we are playing a special version of Assassin's Creed multiplayer, and that is that every kill, every stun, everything in the game is only worth 1 point. Now you might be thinking, oh, this is a really strange mode to introduce. I believe it's called Frantic Mode or Frenetic Mode, but basically, and I am so hyped for this, everyone, like people are asking me, oh, does multiplayer for Assassin's Creed 4 look good? I'm going to give you a resounding yes, and it looks good, and there's exactly one reason why, and once I explain it, you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about here. The reason is that the devs at Ubisoft, of the Annecy team, have made it so that in Assassin's Creed multiplayer now, you can create private matches with any settings you want. So let's say you think the gun is cheap. I don't believe that. You think the gun is cheap. You can make it so that no one can use the gun. Let's say you think the gun is awesome. You can make it so people can only kill with the gun and not kill with anything else. So in this instance, what Ubisoft has done is they've created a game mode where everything is worth 1 point. There's no bonuses. There are no, the ability sets are locked. Now there's two abilities here. One is the disguise, which is obviously very familiar. The other one is what I believe is called either time warp or time phase or something like that. And it's basically like, actually the developers told me it is a balanced version of smoke bomb. And what they mean by that is it's an ability where when you use it, everyone who's an opponent around you gets slowed. They don't get completely stopped, and they lose their heads up display. All right, so basically, it's kind of like a mix between, I guess, between smoke bomb. See here, I'm walking through it and I'm getting slowed. So it's not totally overpowering like smoke bomb, but at the same time, it still gives you an advantage. You can still lose people in chase or prevent someone from running from you, and it gives you a stealth aspect too because it destroys their heads-up display and their ability to lock onto you. So why is the ability to make custom matches so big for Assassin's Creed multiplayer? It means that, like for instance, a couple months ago, I created on Top Tier Tactics an article called My Wish List for Assassin's Creed multiplayer, like what I need to happen in Assassin's Creed 4 multiplayer, and on it was yes, more options for private matches, but things like balancing. I want to balance certain skills. I want to reward stealth more, things like that. Well, with this ability, now every community can do this for themselves. So for instance, and I have to give Raiden some credit here, by the way, he's holding the camera very, very still. So for instance, if you think that an ability is overpowered, instead of whining about it in the forums or instead of hoping the devs will change it, you could just play with your friends or your clan or whatever with that ability with a reduced point. So for instance, let's say you think poison kill should be worth more. You can make poison worth 1,000 points or 10,000 points per kill. Maybe that's a little overkill, but you get the idea. And this is something I'm certainly going to be taking advantage of in Top Tier Tactics tournaments, because I'm going to be working with the community as well as just myself just joking around, but I'm going to be working with the community to try to develop what is the most fair competitive version of Wanted. What is the most fair competitive version of Assassinate? So for instance, like I think in Assassinate the biggest problem is that basically stuns lead to too many points. So what if stuns just had were worth fewer points in Assassinates? Or what if you couldn't chain, or when the chain bonus is lower, or things like that? You could change the scoring, you could change the cooldown, you could change, I was told you could change the crafting that everyone uses in the game. So for instance, you could say, hey, everyone's allowed to use morph, but no one's allowed to craft morph in this specific way. They can only craft it in the ways that we believe are fair. So I have to give the Ubisoft team so much credit. I spoke to Damien Keegan, which I will be speaking to him in more detail. I spoke to a lot of people from the Ubisoft team, the map designers, the level designers, the balance people, everyone, the community reps. And they told me that they really wanted to base Assassin's Creed 4 multiplayer on what the community wanted, and they said, look, The reality is the community wants a lot of things. We want to hear them out. We want to empower the players. We know that the competitive scene is big, so there's tons of people who play it super casually. There's tons of people that play it kind of trolly and for fun. Maybe they're talking about me. And there's tons of people who play it like serious. They're running tournaments. They're running clans and leagues and stuff like that. We want to give all those players the tools to do what they want, and we're showcasing that essentially by creating this giant. Oh my God, I just can't stop talking about it. It's just so great. I also want to just say it was so cool to finally meet all the famous, quote unquote famous Assassin's Creed players that I've only known, from the internet so far, to actually meet RaininStormwake, to meet Escoblades, to meet Loomer, to meet JTS. Basically all these people who have kicked my ass online on multiple occasions. Now, of course, I didn't get to meet people. Most of these people were invited by Ubisoft to be representatives for Assassin's Creed, or to be representatives for Ubisoft as part of the Ubisoft Ambassador, Uplay Ambassador program. Now, I wasn't invited, but you know what? Honestly, my heart isn't broken or anything like that. I have to also understand that I do have a press pass, a media pass to E3, so I don't really need a special pass from Uplay. Plus, when I was in high school, I never really had any friends, so I'm not used to getting invited to anything. Here, me getting a really cool aerial kill, 1 point. And people were concerned. They were telling me Wingspan. I've seen a lot of guns on the characters in the game. Do they all have guns? They do, but it's for aesthetic purposes. So it doesn't actually mean that everyone has pistol built in. It just means that in the kill animations they use guns. And you will see a lot of cool kill animations here. Environmental kills, a lot of interactive kills. The whole way that contested kills works differently now. Now when there's a contested kill, the pursuer and the stunner basically get their score cut in half. Now in this case, the 1 point gets cut in half to 0, so I don't get any points for that. But let's say in Assassin's Creed 3, if you got your kill contested, if it was a really cool kill, you built up your silent meter all the way incognito, you would get a cut down to like basically nothing. And yes, it's true you got exposed, but it's also true that the other person could have been lucky, so they decided to make it fair. They're going to be like, all right, contested kills are just cut in half. So if you had a crappy kill, now it's a really crappy kill. If you had a really, really good kill that was worth 1,000 points, now it's worth 500 points. So it feels fair. Other changes, not a lot of huge other changes. You will not see a third ability slot here for ranged abilities, but that is only because the current mode has been modified to limit ranged abilities from happening. So there is still the third ability slot, so you are still going to see things like pistol, throwing knives. Now none of the exact skills have been confirmed other than what we've seen here. Pistol's coming back, disguise is coming back, this new skill, the time morph, time lapse, whatever the hell it's called, is here. There is something called Booby Trap that I had seen in one of the trailers, but I don't know anything about it or what it does, or if it's even a real ability. And then, of course, there's all kinds of favorite. I'm sure things like Morph are going to come back. Morph is pretty much in everything. Whether or not Smoke Bomb comes back, we'll see. But hey, Smoke Bomb whiners, it doesn't matter. You can disable Smoke Bomb in the games you play, and here I'm going to get a really easy kill. Now, of course, Rainin, Esco, and Loomer and I were pretty much picking on the news because we're sitting here at this booth playing a sample booth with like people who have never played Assassin's Creed ever before. So me getting like 18 points here while like other people in the lobby I believe had like 2 points. Feeling kind of bad for them. Anyway, that pretty much sums it up. I am super excited for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag multiplayer. I couldn't care at all about the single player. I mean, I'll probably play it. By the way, I'm playing Navigator there. He kind of looks like Vash's Stampede, if you catch my drift. But I'm super hyped for this. It's going to be super balanced. I cannot wait to play it. I'm Wingspan TT from TacticTactics.com, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!